안녕하세요. 강지완의 오픽TV 강지완쌤입니다. 이번에 여러분께 선보이는 영상은 오픽모의고사 10세트에서 뽑은 오픽기출문제 101입니다. 답변을 위주로 익숙하게 만드는 훈련으로 듣기용으로 또는 네이티브가 직접 녹음한 답변을 쉐도잉할 수 있게 자막으로 만들어 드렸습니다. 실제 질문이 어떤 문제가 어떻게 출제되는지 또 답변 구성을 어떻게 해야 할지 모르는 분들에게 큰 도움이 되었으면 좋겠습니다. 저의 작은 노력이 여러분의 큰 성과로 이어지면 하는 바람입니다. 질문 집중편은 이미 올려드렸고 기출문제의 답변 집중편을 다시 올려드리니까 구독과 알람 설정 부탁드릴게요. 지금부터 시작합니다.
Tell me about yourself. My name is Kim. I'm in my late 20s. I graduated from college a few months ago, and I am currently looking for a job. Since I have a lot of free time these days, I try to do many different things for myself. For example, I go jogging almost every morning. I study foreign languages in the afternoon, and I also have a part-time job in the evening. I want my day to be productive. Also, my favorite hobby is watching movies because it releases my stress. I like to watch all kinds of movies, and I go to the movies about twice a month. Describe a dental clinic in detail.
When you enter a dental clinic, there is a front desk with 2 or 3 receptionists waiting to help you. Beside the front desk, there are seats for patients to wait until it is their turn to see the dentist. In the waiting area, there is an espresso machine and a large screen TV for patients who are waiting. Usually, the walls are white, and there is a long hallway with a few rooms with their doors closed.
When was the last time you went to a dentist? How was the doctor? What was the atmosphere of the place like? I visited the dentist last year. I had to get my teeth cleaned. My dentist was very kind and skillful. I've known my dentist for a very long time. The atmosphere of the place was bright and clean, but had a strange smell. I don't like going to a dentist. Kids are usually afraid of going to a dentist. How about you? Is there an event you remember? Tell me about it.
Yes, I can honestly say that I am afraid of going to the dentist. The thought of someone drilling my teeth gives me chills down my spine. I remember when I had a few cavities and I needed to get a nerve treatment. It was quite a painful experience. After that experience, I began to take better care of my teeth. Sometimes I learn things the hard way.
What kind of identification cards do you have now? When do you use those cards? The identification cards I have now are my driver's license and my citizen registration card. I often use these cards when I go drink with my friends. And obviously, I carry my driver's license with me all the time when I drive a car. Although it is very rare for my identification card to be checked at a movie theater, I use these ID cards to buy tickets for rated R movies. I'd like to know about the steps you have to take to get an identification card, ID. Give me a detailed description of the steps you need to take in order to get it.
If you want to get a citizen registration card, first you should be over 19 years old. Once you become 19, you go to the local government office and submit the application form. Usually it requires 2 photos and some paperwork. Once you apply for the card, you usually get it delivered to your house in a few days.
Let's talk about the first identification card you got. What kind of ID card was it? How did you feel when you got the ID card? Tell me in detail. The first ID card I got was the citizen registration card. It's a card that proves your residency in Korea. I got it when I was 19, and I was super excited about it. Before this card, I only had my student ID card. I hated that ID card because I looked like a criminal in the picture. I felt like I had grown up and finally become an adult. Although I didn't like my picture on the card, I still remember how happy I was at that moment. Have you ever been in a situation that you were in trouble because you didn't have your ID card? When was it? What happened? Tell me in detail.
One time I got pulled over for speeding without a license. I went to a mall with my friends and I lost my wallet there. On the way back home, I did not realize I had lost my wallet. But after getting pulled over by a police officer for speeding, I realized I did not have my wallet on me. I could have been in big trouble for this, but the police officer was nice enough to give me a break. I had to get a temporary license the next day.
What is the weather like these days? The weather is very strange these days. If one day is warm enough not to wear a jacket, the next day it is extremely cold, even with a jacket and a scarf on. I have never had this kind of winter in my life. I just want cold winter with some snow, not like ragged weather these days.
It is extremely hot these days. It might be obvious that it is hot in early August, but it is too hot. It is supposed to rain a lot in August, but there is no rain, not even a piece of cloud. With this heat wave, I would like to go to the beach for swimming and tanning.
How does the weather affect your feelings?
When the weather is hot, I feel very uncomfortable because I sweat a lot. Plus, the hot weather makes me extremely lazy, which makes me stay home and not go anywhere. Opposed to the hot weather, the cold weather makes me very active. Since I like the cold weather, I love winter. Therefore, when the weather is hot, I become indifferent and feel unpleasant. And with the cold weather, I get hyperactive and feel excited.
How different are the seasonal weathers? How is it different depending on the 4 seasons? In Korea, obviously summer weather is very different from winter weather. Summer is very hot and winter is very cold. But spring and fall have similar weather, which I think is best out of the 4 seasons. Especially fall is my favorite time of the year. I would say the only weather difference between spring and fall is wind. The wind blows stronger when fall begins. What kinds of outdoor activities do people in your country attend, depending on the weather?
Since the weather is so nice in the spring and fall, people often go out to a park for a barbecue, and people like to climb mountains. During the summer, people like to go to the beach to feel the summer, and people go skiing to feel the winter. I guess the 4 seasons in Korea are very similar to the 4 seasons on the east coast of the United States.
Tell me about the memorable experience that happened in a season. What happened? Why is it so memorable? How did the weather affect the event? Last year, I went skiing with my friends. Usually, all the snow in ski resorts is fake snow because it does not snow much in Korea. However, that winter was the first time in 104 years there was a heavy snowstorm. Due to the heavy snow, all the snow on the mountain was real, and I had so much fun with that natural snow. It is always memorable to have an unexpected present. Tell me about yourself. I'd like to briefly introduce myself. My name is Park, and I'm in my mid-20s. I'm a college student majoring in mathematics. I live in Seoul with my parents and a younger sister, and she's still in high school. To talk about my personality, I'm easygoing, and I like to hang out with people. I also have a good sense of humor. Since I'm very outgoing, I like sports that I can do with other people, such as basketball, billiards, bowling, etc. I think this is about it.
Let me share a bit about myself. I'm Kim and I'm from Incheon. I go to school in Seoul, so I live in the city with my roommate. I'm a senior majoring in engineering, and this is my last semester, so I'm currently looking for a job. My family still lives in Incheon. My dad is a businessman, my mom is a housewife, and my sister got married last year and moved out. I visit my family at least once a month, and I'm kind of hoping to get a job at Incheon because I want to live with my parents. My name is Lee, and I'm in my mid-30s. I've been working at a trading company for 3 years, and I'm in the sales department. I'm married and living with my family in Seoul. I have an adorable 2-year-old daughter. Since my wife and I both work, we don't get to see each other on weekdays, so we try to spend time together during the weekend. We like to go to the park in our neighborhood. We usually take a walk or just sit and talk about our daily lives. It's my favorite time of the week.
Tell me about your neighborhood. What is it like to live in that part of town?
I like my neighborhood because it's a quiet and convenient place to live. I live in an apartment complex near the downtown area. Although it's close to downtown, my town is pretty quiet. There is a bus stop across the street, and the supermarket is a 10-minute walk, so it is easy to go grocery shopping. These are the things I like the most about where I live.
Describe your neighbors. Who is your closest neighbor? How often do you meet your neighbor, and what do you do with him or her? The only neighbor I talk to is Mr. Lee, who lives upstairs. I guess he would be the closest neighbor then. We run into each other about once a week, and if we are not busy, we stop and chat for a while. I don't really spend time together with him, but last Saturday, he baked cookies and gave me some. It was very nice of him. Now I know he likes baking. Maybe we'll bake cookies together sometime. Tell me about your neighbors and their routines. Tell me about the kids, adults, and the older people.
The children usually go to school around 8 o'clock. After school, most of them go to an academy to study English, math, science, and so on. You can hardly see little kids playing in the playground because they prefer to watch TV and play computer games at home. The dads go to work early in the morning and come back late at night. The moms usually work out at a gym in the morning, go grocery shopping in the afternoon, and come home around 5 to cook dinner for the family. Sometimes they meet up with their friends and chat for a while at a coffee shop or go shopping together. The older people get up really early and exercise at the nearby park. There is a place for older people to hang out in our complex, so they spend most of their day there.
Tell me about some memorable events since you moved there. My next-door neighbor always plays the piano. She plays it throughout the day. At first, I thought it was nice to listen to the piano, but one day, she played it for 5 straight hours, and I couldn't stand it anymore. I called the building superintendent and complained, but he said there's nothing he could do about it. I was upset and felt rejected, so I decided to go over and talk to her myself. When I went over and rang the bell, a really big guy came out and asked what was up. I got scared, couldn't say anything, and came back. Turned out that he was the one playing the piano, and apparently he was a famous musician. It's still a little annoying hearing the piano, but I guess I have to bear with it. What are the things you did to change your home? Did you buy new furniture or paintings? Tell me about everything you did.
I have most of the furniture that I've had since my childhood. It is still in good condition. However, I had to buy a new bed because the old one was too small for me. My mom bought me a queen-size bed so that my feet don't stick out at the end of the bed anymore. I think my bed is too big for me because I only use one side of the bed, but it's better than my old one. I rarely buy paintings. I guess they are too expensive for me to buy. My mom put some paintings in the living room and her bedroom. I put some posters of rock stars in my room.
Think about the day you moved into your house. How different was it from now? What has changed? Tell me about it. When I first moved into my house, everything was brand new. It even had a new house scent. I didn't like the smell of it at the beginning. Now I have lived in my house for 5 years, and everything looks used. Of course, the unpleasant scent had disappeared, fortunately. Nothing has really changed much at home except my bed. I had to change my bed because it was too small for me. What has changed in your house in recent years? Describe the changes in detail.
There are a few things that have changed in my house. First of all, I bought a new refrigerator because the old one broke down and made a weird sound. The new one is a lot bigger than the old one, so we can put more stuff inside. Second of all, I had to buy a new bed because my old one was too small. I had that small bed since I was 12. Now I've grown up, so my feet were sticking out at the end of the bed. My new bed is really big and takes up a lot of space, but I like it very much. It's very comfortable.
Tell me about an obvious weakness about your house. Also, if you want to move to another place, what kind of house do you want to move into? My apartment is small and cozy. However, there is an obvious weakness about my place. It's actually my upstairs neighbor. A young married couple live right above my apartment, and they have a 5-year-old child. When he runs around the house, the noise he makes is very annoying. I cannot do anything at home. The noise is very distracting. I really want to move to another place. I hope I could get a top-floor apartment so that nobody lives above me. Tell me about problems you experienced in your home. Did something break, or did you have to call a repairman? Describe the problem in detail.
When it gets really cold in Korea, the water pipes can freeze, blocking the tap water. This winter, we had 2 weeks of sub-zero temperatures in Seoul, and my water pipe actually froze and cracked. When I woke up and went to the bathroom to take a shower, I had no water. I called the manager, and he told me that several water pipes had been cracked, and he called a repairman to fix the problem. He also told me that I might have to wait all day to have water because there were so many people with the same problem. I had to go to a public bath that day.
Give me a little more detailed description of one of the problems. What happened? Why did it happen? How did you fix it? The temperature in Seoul dropped below zero for 2 consecutive weeks, and because of that, my water pipe froze and cracked. I had no hot or cold water. My manager of the building put some insulation around the water meter for the cold weather, but it couldn't withstand the cold weather. So it cracked, and they had to replace the water meter with a new one. My manager called a repairman, but it took him 8 hours to get to my place because there were so many water meters that he had to fix. He finally came to my apartment and replaced the water meter. Tell me about the furniture in your house. I'd like to know detailed information of the furniture in your house.
In my house, there is a huge sofa in the middle of the living room. I usually watch TV, read papers, take a nap, and sometimes eat on the sofa. When I'm at home, I spend most of my time on the sofa, so it's my favorite piece of furniture in my house. In my room, I have a desk, a bed, and a closet. My closet is pretty big because I share it with my sister. In the kitchen, there is a big dining table where we have dinner together.
What furniture do you have in your room? Also, what is your favorite? Why do you find it special? There are a few pieces of furniture in my room. The main piece is my big double bed. It's pretty large, so it takes up a lot of space. I have a closet right next to the bed. It's a big closet with small drawers in, so I store most of my wardrobe in it. There is a computer desk and a chair as well. My favorite piece of furniture is my big bed because it's so comfortable that I can be totally relaxed in my bed. What home appliances do people use? Refrigerators and dishwashers? What else can you think of?
There are so many useful home appliances. My favorites are, of course, the refrigerator and the microwave. I will go nuts if my refrigerator breaks, and I always use the microwave to heat up my food and drinks. There are many smaller devices I like, such as the blender and the kettle. I use the blender every morning to make some apple juice, and my mom always uses the kettle for some tea, coffee, and even cup noodles.
Tell me about your experience when an appliance was broken. Why did it happen? How did you fix it? When I was 7, I was playing soccer with my brother in the living room. At the beginning, we were just passing the ball to each other lightly. As we got bored of passing, we started to shoot at the wall. When I took a shot, it hit the wall and happened to hit the light in the living room. Since my parents weren't at home at that time, my brother and I cleaned up the light bulb that was broken and changed it for a new one. How do you usually decide what to wear? Do you wear different clothes during the week and the weekend? I usually decide what I'm going to wear before I go to bed, so that I don't have to worry about it the next day. During the weekdays, I have to wear a suit for work. However, on weekends, I wear anything I want. I normally wear casual clothes such as jeans, sweatpants, and t-shirts.
I usually decide what I'm going to wear the night before, so that I won't have to worry about it the next day. During the weekdays, I usually wear casual clothes if I don't have a special occasion. If I do, I would wear formal clothes. On weekends, I still wear casual clothes such as jeans, t-shirts, and sneakers.
Describe the clothes you're wearing now. Do you usually wear them? What clothes are your favorites? Why?
Right now, I'm wearing a black three-piece Paul Smith suit with red silk lining, with a white collared shirt and a navy blue Ferragamo tie. I wear a different suit, shirt, and tie every day, but the same brand. My favorites are Paul Smith, Dolce & Gabbana, with a little Bottega Veneta. I like them because they make me feel better, and I feel much more confident.
Right now, I'm wearing a red button-down shirt with a pair of blue jeans. I like to wear shirts and jeans because I want to be comfortable. My favorite clothes are these perfect jeans that I got a few weeks ago because they make me feel better and I feel much more confident. Tell me how the people in your city commute to work. Are there any different ways for people to travel?
Usually, people living in Seoul commute by subway or bus. I think those two are the most popular means of transportation in Korea. I take subway line number 2, which is the busiest subway line in Seoul. Other people would either drive to work or take a taxi. Driving to work might give you some comfort, but it costs more money to commute by car. Maybe a few would walk or ride their bicycle to work.
Have you ever experienced any interesting or frustrating thing when going to work? Maybe you experienced a car breaking down. Tell me about the memorable experience in as many details as possible. One time, I woke up late because I had a huge hangover, so I took a cab to work. On my way to work, I felt really nauseous, so I opened the window. Nonetheless, I wasn't feeling any better, so I asked the cab driver to pull over to the side of the highway. On the side of the highway, I threw up and got back in the cab. The cab driver kindly handed me some tissue. I repeated this 3 times. It was one of the worst days of my life, but the good news is I made it to work on time. You indicated that you like to see movies. Who is your favorite actor or actress, and why?
My favorite actor is Matt Damon. He is so good in every character he plays. He actually becomes the character, and it's so believable. I remember watching him on the Bourne series years ago. Ever since, I became a huge fan of his. He studied for his undergraduate degree at Harvard, and he even writes scenarios. I think that's really cool.
Describe the theater you go to. What does it look like? Why do you like going there? Tell me everything you can remember.
I usually go to the theater in my neighborhood. It's very big with lots of screenings, so I can always watch a movie whenever I want. Also, it only takes about 10 minutes by bus from my house. So if I feel like watching a movie, I can go to the theater very easily. I think it's really nice to have a good theater in the neighborhood.
What kind of activities do you do before, during, and after the movie? Tell me about your typical day when watching a movie. I usually watch a movie on Saturday evening with my friend. Before I go to the theater, I usually check online to see what's playing. If there's one with a good time, I buy the tickets online. At the theater, I get my tickets from the ticket booth, and if I'm not full, I buy popcorn and some drinks. During the movie, I only focus on the movie, and I never let my friend talk because it really distracts me. After the movie, we usually go for a drink and talk about the movie we saw. When was the last time you went to the movie theater? What kind of movie did you see? Where did you go and who were you with? Was it interesting? Tell me about it in as many details as possible.
Actually, I went to the movies last Saturday with my sister. We went to the theater in our neighborhood, and we saw Black Swan. I wanted to see the film because I had read quite good compliments on the movie. The movie was better than I had expected, and the actress, Natalie Portman, also won the Best Actress Oscar. She totally deserved it, and it was just amazing. I actually want to see the movie again.
How often do you go to concerts? Who do you usually go with? What do you do before and after the concert? I think I go to concerts about 3 to 4 times a year. I usually go with my friends. My best friend Kim and I have the same taste in music, so we often go together. Before the concert, I buy the tickets online for both of us, and Kim usually wires me the money. Since we live in the same neighborhood, we go to the concert hall together. And then, after the concert, we usually go for a drink and share our feelings about the concert. I really enjoy going to concerts with Kim. What kind of concert do you like to attend? Why? And do you prefer concerts with seating or no seating? Why?
I like to attend the concerts of my favorite singers. I like musicians who play hip-hop and dance music, and most of their concerts are always fun and exciting. Sometimes, if a world-famous singer visits to have a concert, I definitely go, only because I may not be able to see them in person ever again in my life. Since I like upbeat music, I like standing concerts because I can dance and completely enjoy the concert. Concerts are so much fun.
How did you become interested in concerts? When I was in college, I went to a free jazz concert with my boyfriend for the first time in my life. It was very romantic and I really enjoyed it. After the concert, we felt so much closer to each other. Since then, I've become a huge fan of live concerts. Tell me about the last concert you went to. When was it? With whom? How was it?
I went to Lady Gaga's concert a few months ago. I went with my friend Kim, and we were so excited to see her. Kim actually got me the tickets for my birthday, and I couldn't believe I got to see her live. At the concert hall, we saw many Korean musicians came to see Lady Gaga, and that was quite fun too. She was actually really good at singing, and the concert was amazing. Kim and I were so impressed, and I definitely want to go see her again.
You indicated that you go to a park. Where is it located? Describe the park you like to go to in detail. I like to visit this park that is located near my house. It's a small park. The park is actually surrounded by fences. Parks in the United States don't have fences, but parks in Korea usually have fences. When you walk through the gate, you can see a lot of trees and lawn. There are also machines for those people who want to exercise. Along the walkway, there are benches where people can sit and rest. What kind of activities do you usually do at the park? Tell me about everything you do at a park from the time you arrive at a park to the time you leave the park.
When I go to the park, I usually take a walk first. Sometimes I run, but this park is such a small park, it's impossible to run. It takes about 15 minutes to walk around the whole park, so I walk a few laps around the park. From time to time, I bring badminton rackets and a shuttlecock to play badminton with my girlfriend. Then we have a nice conversation while walking back home.
When I go to the park, I bring a blanket and a book. I lie down on the grass and read a book. When I do that, I walk around the park and try to find a quiet spot where there aren't that many people. If there are children or people enjoying sports such as baseball, badminton, and so on, it's a little difficult to read my favorite novel. In that case, I just take a walk and go back home. Describe the last time you went to a park. When was it? With whom?
The last time I visited a park was last weekend. The weather was very nice, so I had to go to the park. I decided to go there with my girlfriend, and I always carry a blanket in my car. I brought a blanket and my girlfriend brought lunch. I told her to bring a book of her choice so that we could enjoy the sun and also a book. There weren't that many people there because we got there very early. It was a little chilly in the morning, but the weather warmed up pretty fast. We found a nice spot to sit and put a blanket on the grass. It was very nice.
Tell me about a memorable event that happened at the park you often go to. When was it? What was the event about? What did you do there at that time? Why was it so memorable? Tell me in as much detail as you can.
It was about 2 months ago when I visited the park that I usually go to. I actually ran into my ex-girlfriend. She and I used to go to the park often when we were together, and she was there with her friend taking a walk. I wasn't totally over her at that time, so I really didn't know what to do. At first, I pretended not to notice her, but she actually came up to me and said hi. I greeted her back, but it was very awkward. I made her feel embarrassed by not saying anything more, and she had to walk away. I know I should have done something nicer, but I couldn't. It was a very embarrassing moment.
What kind of game do you usually play? When, where, and with whom?
I usually play sports video games. Since playing a game by myself is not fun, I always play with my friends at home. I play with my friends once in a while during our free time, like after school. To make a game more interesting, I make a bet with my friends for buying lunch or dinner.
Tell me about your favorite game. Why do you like it? Tell me the rules of the game. My favorite game is StarCraft. I've been playing it since I was in high school. It's a great game to play with your friends. This game requires nerve and skill, and you need to be constantly thinking. I don't play it to win because most of my friends are much better than me, so I only play it for fun. I also played it yesterday with my friends, and I won for the first time. I never felt better. I also like to play games. Ask me 3 to 4 questions about games I like to play.
I see you like playing games. Do you like playing computer games, board games, or video games? Where do you usually play games and why? Also, when you play a game, for how long do you play? Lastly, what is your favorite game, and why is it your favorite?
Describe the game you recently played. What was it? What happened? The most recent game I played with my friend was the online soccer game. To play, you make an account, pick one team, and as you get more wins, your team gets stronger. I made a bet with my friends for buying lunch, and my friend has to buy me lunch tomorrow because I got twice the score that he got. Which do you prefer? The game you play by yourself or together with other people? Why?
I prefer playing games together with other people because I easily get bored playing by myself. If I am alone at home, I at least play a game where I can compete or play with others online. But actually, I enjoy reading books when I'm alone, more than playing games alone.
What is the popular game in Korea? Why is it so popular? The most popular game in Korea is called StarCraft. It is so popular in Korea that there are pro gamers, and they get tons of money playing this game. Each pro gamer even has fan clubs like singers and movie stars. The game is made by an American company called Blizzard, and since it is so popular in Korea, they made a Korean version of this game. StarCraft became more popular when a Korean pro gamer won the world tournament of this game. What kind of food do you like to cook? Why? Tell me how to make it.
My favorite dish to cook is fried rice. It's very easy to make, and you can make any kind of fried rice by adding whatever you want. If you add tuna, it'd be tuna fried rice, and if you add vegetables, it'd be vegetable fried rice. To make it, you need a bowl of rice, an egg, and any ingredients you want to put in the rice. You just oil the pan and put some rice and vegetables you like. Stir-fry them until they look good. It will only take about 5 minutes. When it's ready, put an egg fried sunny side on the top and enjoy your dish.
How often do you cook? When and where do you usually cook? I cook about once a week. I live with my family, so I don't cook that often. I enjoy cooking, but I rarely do it. If there's no one home and nothing to eat, I just cook for myself. When I cook, I make something convenient and fast, like fried rice and pasta. They are easy to make, but the taste isn't guaranteed. Tell me about the first time you cooked. What was it? How did it taste?
The first time I cooked was when I made dinner for my family. It was my mom's birthday, so I decided to make a nice dinner for her. I decided to make seafood pasta for the main dish, since it's one of her favorite dishes. It was pretty easy and only took 20 minutes. However, it didn't taste good. Actually, it was really bad. I'm still not sure what I did, but it was really bad. We couldn't eat my pasta, so we had to order in. I felt really bad, but my mom said it was totally fine. I still feel bad.
Maybe something unexpected happened when you cooked. Tell me about your experience with details. What kind of food did you cook and what was wrong with it? I have never had this kind of experience, but I know a funny experience my friend had. My friend decided to make chocolate for Valentine's Day, and it was her first time to actually cook besides instant noodles. She Googled the recipe and bought every ingredient she needed. Everything was going perfectly fine until she used salt instead of sugar. Unfortunately, she forgot to taste the chocolate because she was too excited about it. She completed the good-looking chocolate, put it in a lovely pink box, and left it in her boyfriend's mailbox. When she got home after the delivery, her brother told her how salty her chocolate was. She panicked and called her boyfriend right away, but he thought it was very cute. I thought it was cute too. How often do you listen to music? When and where do you usually listen to music? What kind of music device do you use when listening to music? Tell me all the details.
I listen to music every day. I usually listen to music during a workout or when I'm on my way somewhere. I use my MP3 player to listen to music because it's very handy. My MP3 player is very small and light, but it contains thousands of songs I like. I can't imagine my life without it, so I take very good care of it.
What kind of music do you like? Why? Who is your favorite singer or composer? Why? I like all kinds of music, but I like dance and hip-hop music the most because they cheer me up. Sometimes I listen to jazz and classical music before I go to bed because they help me sleep well. My favorite singer and composer is JYP. He's one of the most famous singers in Korea, and he also writes songs. I love his music because he composes great melodies and lyrics. Most of his songs have positive messages, and I just like the way he thinks and expresses himself. When and how did you first become interested in listening to music? Was there a special reason? If so, why?
I started to listen to music when I was in middle school. My dad got me a CD player for my 15th birthday, and I was so excited to have a portable music device. I always carried it with me, and I was always listening to music. At first, my mom didn't like it because I even listened to it while studying. But actually, listening to music helped me focus well. After I proved that fact by getting a higher grade on my final exam, she let me listen to it whenever I want.
Tell me about the special moments or episodes you've experienced while listening to music. I went through a really bad breakup last winter, and it was right before Christmas. When I was walking outside, all the music I could hear was Christmas songs. They are supposed to be very bright and happy, but I was so depressed that I hated them. I really didn't want to listen to any Christmas carols, and on Christmas Day, I stayed home doing nothing. I still don't want to listen to Christmas songs because they would remind me of my ex-boyfriend. When and where do you usually jog? Tell me in detail.
I usually jog near my house. I live in a quiet neighborhood with lots of big trees, so it's the best place to jog. I like to jog early in the morning because it's very refreshing. Furthermore, it's not that hot in the morning during summer. If I sleep in, I still try to go jogging in the evening. When I run, I usually set my goal before. I really like jogging, and I do it almost every day.
Who do you go jogging with? What do you need to go jogging? I usually go jogging by myself. I don't need a companion to jog because I just like running and listening to music. I have time to think and I can focus on myself. When I jog, I need a good pair of running shoes, a sweatshirt and pants, and an MP3 player. Then I'm ready to go. Of course, I have to wear shorts and a t-shirt during summer. I also put on some sunblock before I jog. Why did you decide to go jogging? Tell me when you first started jogging.
I started to jog about 2 years ago. I decided to jog because I was gaining weight. I wanted to lose some weight, and I decided to jog because jogging costs nothing. If I go to a gym, I have to pay the membership fee, which is quite expensive. Furthermore, I don't like to jog on a treadmill. It just feels weird to run on a machine. I feel like I'm running on a mouse wheel. Plus, I like to run outside and feel the fresh air.
Have you ever had an interesting experience while jogging? Did something interesting happen? Was it enjoyable? When and where did it happen? Describe the situation. Last week, I came home late at night. I was too tired to exercise, but I knew I'd be more tired if I skipped my exercise. So I went outside to jog. About 20 minutes later, it suddenly started to rain. The weather was really nice that day, but apparently it was supposed to rain at night. I turned around and ran back home, but I was already soaked in the heavy rain. It was definitely not enjoyable, but I learned to check the weather before I go jogging. You said you like to swim. Why do you like swimming? What is your favorite stroke? Tell me in detail. I like swimming because I like playing with water. I can move much faster and lighter underwater, and I really like how that feels. I'm a good swimmer, and I can swim several kilometers. I once won the race in the women's 100-meter freestyle when I was in high school. I know all the strokes, and my favorite stroke is the freestyle because it's the fastest and I can feel the speed. I also like to swim in the ocean sometimes. Even though it's a bit salty when you taste the water, I like riding the waves. When and where did you learn how to swim? How did your swimming instructor teach you? Tell me everything.
I learned how to swim when I was 8 years old. My mom signed me up for swimming lessons at a sports center in the neighborhood. My swimming instructor was so strict that if I didn't train hard, he wouldn't let me get out of the pool. I cried several times because of him, and I didn't like him at all. But he actually was a really good swimmer, and I learned a lot from him. Now I think of him as a great instructor, but I'm still a little scared of him.
Tell me about a memorable experience you had while swimming. When I was 15, I thought I was a good swimmer. Indoor pools were boring, so I asked my parents to take me to the beach. I got to swim in the ocean for the first time, but my mom made me wear a life jacket. I didn't want to, but she didn't let me swim without wearing it. I had to swim with the jacket and it was very uncomfortable. About 30 minutes later, I saw my mom going to the bathroom and I took the jacket off and swam. I felt so free and it was so much fun. Later on, I got very tired and had no energy to swim, and of course I was pretty far from the shore. I started to drown and I was so scared. Fortunately, my dad was watching me the whole time and he came to save me. It was the scariest thing ever, and since then, I don't really like to swim in the ocean. Describe the bicycle you ride in detail. When do you usually ride a bicycle? Where and how long do you ride?
I got my bike from the internet. It's a used mountain bike with 24 gears. Its frame is red and has silver stripes. I usually ride a bike on the weekend because I stay late at work on weekdays. Since I live near the Han River, I usually go riding on my bike along the bank. It feels so good when I ride a bike when the weather is nice. When I ride, I try to ride for at least an hour, and it is good exercise.
Who taught you how to ride a bicycle? When was the first time you rode a bike? I got my first bicycle when I was 5 years old. It was a two-wheeled bicycle, but my dad put two training wheels on the rear so that I wouldn't fall down. However, bicycles with four wheels don't go as fast as two-wheeled ones, so I asked my dad to remove them. Since my dad was busy working, my neighbor actually taught me how to ride a bicycle. He was 4 years older than me. He held my bike from the back until I could ride by myself. Tell me about an experience you had when you went hiking with your bike. When was it? With whom? What happened?
I have gone hiking with my bike once in my life. I have a friend who is into mountain biking. He always asks me to join him, but I was a little scared to do so. It's because he showed me wounds he got from mountain biking. He didn't get any serious injuries, but I didn't want to get hurt. However, I decided to give it a try. I was very careful and I didn't get hurt. Actually, it was fun, and when we finished riding, I felt so refreshed. I think it's a good exercise.
Tell me about the memorable experiences you had while riding a bicycle. What happened? Why is it so memorable? One day, I was riding a bike at the park in my neighborhood. The weather was perfect, and I was truly enjoying it. But suddenly, a dog jumped in front of me, and I had to slam on the brakes. I almost hit the dog, but fortunately I didn't. Actually, he was running away from his owner, and I couldn't hear his owner calling out his name because I was listening to music so loudly. Since then, I don't listen to music too loudly while riding a bike. You indicated in the survey that you like to go to the gym for a workout. What is the main purpose of going to a fitness center? Also, please tell me about all the sporting goods or equipment at the gym in detail.
I go to a gym at least 3 times a week to work out. When I first started to work out, I was extremely tired, but now I am more tired if I do not work out. The main purpose of going to a gym is to stay fit. I was a little overweight when I was a kid. It was not easy to lose weight, so I never miss my workout. The gym I go to has a lot of exercise equipment, such as treadmills, stationary bikes, weights, and so on. I like to walk fast on a treadmill holding light dumbbells.
Have you ever had any difficulty in doing some exercise at the gym? If so, please tell me about what happened. I often have difficulties in doing some exercises because in order to do weight training properly, there has to be someone spotting you when you exercise. Without anyone spotting you, you might drop the dumbbell and get hurt. Actually, I hurt my leg a few weeks ago. I dropped a dumbbell. I still have to be very careful with my leg when I exercise. How often do you go to a gym? And with whom do you usually go to the gym? Also, tell me about the activities you do at the gym. Describe 2 to 3 activities in detail.
I usually go to a gym by myself. I try to go every day, but mostly I go 3 times a week. At the gym, I first do a stretch so I won't get hurt during my workout, and then run for 30 minutes to warm my body up. After I'm done with running, I do weight training to build up some muscles. After all the exercises are done, I finish up with stretching again.
Where was the first place you traveled to? How was it? My first international trip was to Canada. I was 10 years old at the time. I had traveled to many different spots in Korea, but it was my first time traveling overseas. I made my first passport as well because it was our first family vacation outside Korea. I don't know why my dad chose Canada as our first destination. I guess he had never been there before. That's probably why he picked Canada. We went to Vancouver. We visited many different tourist spots and took a lot of pictures. I don't really remember vividly since it was such a long time ago, but I remember it was a great experience. I had a great time. What kind of things do you pack in your suitcase when going on a trip? Name all the things you have to bring when traveling from the beginning to the end.
I always try to pack light when I travel. Having a heavy or big suitcase actually could be a big hassle. First, I plan out what kind of clothes I want to wear during the trip. I try to pack only necessary clothing. Obviously, I pack my underwear and socks. I also pack only 2 pairs of shoes. It really depends on the purpose of the trip when it comes down to what to pack, but I always pack light. I pack my personal hygiene stuff. If I could buy little things during a trip, I do buy them there. I also pack an emergency medical kit whenever I travel. In the kit, there are some medications for headache, diarrhea, cold, allergies, and minor injuries. I also pack a camera, an MP3 player, my cellular phone, and sunglasses.
Where do you want to travel in the future? Why? I want to travel to Egypt someday. I have never been to Egypt before. I'd like to travel there because I want to see the pyramids in Giza and other ancient buildings in person. I love watching documentaries about Egyptology on television. I've always had an admiration for Egypt. I also want to visit great tombs of pharaohs from the ancient civilization. That is actually why I want to visit Egypt in the future. When I get there, I would like to take pictures of the great ancient architectures. Tell me about the most memorable travel experience. Where was it? Why?
In 2007, 2 of my friends and I went to Hokkaido, Japan. We only had one thing on our mind, and that was to snowboard in the powder snow. That was the most memorable travel experience I had recently. Hokkaido is an island that is located in the north of Japan. Hokkaido is known for massive snowfall during the winter. We went to this little town called Furano. It was a small town with a few ski resorts. I did my research and I picked a resort near the airport. When I landed at the airport, I was very surprised by how much snow there was on the streets. The next day, we went up to the top of the mountain by a gondola. That ski resort didn't have any snowmaking machines. All the snow in the resort was pure powder. Me and my friends decided to go off-piste skiing. Off-piste skiing is riding on an unprepared trail in the mountain. You ride through the trees. It is somewhat dangerous, but the feeling of riding in the trees was like floating on the clouds. That was the best snowboard trip I've ever had.
You indicated that you take domestic trips in your survey. Where do you like to go on a trip? Describe your favorite place for me in detail.
I love going to Jeju Island because I think it is the most beautiful island in Korea. A lot of movie and drama scenes were filmed there, and it is what Jeju Island is most famous for. Also, since it is an island, seafood there is extremely fresh and delicious. Since Jeju Island is located in the most southern part of Korea, the weather is very warm and mild. It's more like tropical weather down there. You can see beautiful palm trees and beaches. Therefore, I would most likely go to Jeju Island for my domestic trip.
What kind of things do you pack in your suitcase when going on a trip? Name all the things you have to bring when traveling from the beginning to the end. First thing I pack in my suitcase when going on a trip is clothes. I always bring at least one sweater on a trip, even if the place is hot. After packing clothes, I pack all the toiletries and cosmetics. The third thing I pack is an extra pair of shoes because I once got my shoes wet when I only brought one pair of shoes. It was horrible. The last things I pack are my passport, travel guide, and wallet. My passport is not necessary if I am traveling within my country. A travel guide is always useful, even if you know the place well. Your PC has broken down for some reason. Call a repairman and ask him 3 to 4 questions to fix it.
Hello, I'm calling to ask a few questions about my computer. I bought this computer about 2 years ago, and when I try to turn on the computer, Windows does not boot up. Could you please fix my problem? I have already tried things that you told me to try. Could you come over to see what you can do? Oh, if you can't come today, could you come over sometime next week? Thank you very much.
Sorry, there is a problem I need you to resolve. The repairman called you back and said he will be able to come in next week, and that's the earliest time he can make. Tell him why you need to get your computer fixed ASAP and give him suggestions. Hi, thank you for calling me back, but I have an important presentation at my work this Friday, so I really need my computer restored before my presentation. If you are too busy to come over to my house, I can visit your office. If I go to your office any time this week, can you please fix my computer? If that is convenient for you, what day and time should I go? You just heard that your favorite store is having a sale. For more information on the sale, ask the clerk 3 or 4 questions.
Hello, I heard you guys are having a sale. Are all the products on sale? If not, which sections are on sale and up to what % off are you offering? Also, when is the last day you guys are having a sale? Because I do not think I am able to visit any time this week. Last question. Do you guys have any refund policy for sale products? If there is, could you please tell me how it works?
The item you've just purchased is damaged when you arrive at home. Call the store and explain the situation. Tell the person exactly what you want. Hello, I'm calling regarding the jeans I just bought today. I know it is my responsibility to check the product carefully before I purchase, but when I got home, I noticed that the bottom of the jeans is ripped. Is it possible for me to get a refund? Or can I at least get it repaired for free? I would not want to pay to fix these jeans since they were already damaged before I bought them. Please call me back with a solution or tell me what you guys can do for me. You're in the library to look for some books. Ask the librarian some questions about it.
Hi, I am looking for a book called Les Miserables. I have to read it for my English class, and I cannot find it anywhere. Could you please check if the book is available here? And if you guys have it, could you tell me which section I have to look in? Oh, and by when do I need to return the books?
The librarian said the book you're looking for is not available now. Tell your boss or teacher about the situation and make 2 or 3 suggestions. I tried to borrow a book that we need for class, but I could not find it anywhere near my house. Could you please give me a few more days to get the book? I will order it online so I can get it as fast as I can. If that is not possible, may I please change to a different book for this class assignment? If that is okay, could you please give me a list of books that I could get instead of Les Miserables? You're on your way to your client's office you've never been to. Call the client and ask 3 or 4 questions to get the directions from your hotel.
I'm trying to get to your office from my hotel, and I would like to know how to get there from my hotel. Is that possible to get there by subway or bus? If there is any public transportation I can take, could you tell me the number for a bus or which subway line I have to take? Also, when I get off at a stop, how should I get to your office from there?
Let's say you want to book a hotel room for tonight. Call the reservation desk and ask a few questions in order to book a room. Hello, I am calling to book a room for tonight. What types of rooms do you have? We are 2 adults, and do you have a room with a queen-sized bed? If so, how much is the room per night? By the way, what are the check-in and check-out times? I'm wondering if we could do a late checkout. Thank you for your help. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry, there's a problem. You went to a hotel and checked in, but the room is very messy and small. Call the front desk and explain the situation.
Hello, I'm calling from room 308. I just checked in and came to the room, but the room is not cleaned up yet. Actually, it's really dirty and disgusting. Also, I asked for a double bedroom, but this room has a single bed. I think you gave me the wrong room. I'm very tired and I want you to handle this right now. Thank you.
Three. Have you ever had a memorable experience while you stayed in a hotel? What was it? Why is it memorable? Tell me about the situation in detail. Last summer, I stayed in a hotel in Seoul for 2 days. The hotel had a great outdoor pool, and I was swimming in the pool. And then, this little girl came up to me and gave me her chocolate ice cream. I thought it was really cute, so I took it and said thank you. But as soon as I took the ice cream from her, she started crying. I was taken aback and gave it back to her right away. But the little girl wouldn't stop crying, and her mom came and gave me the look. I felt mortified, but I couldn't say anything because the girl was crying so loudly. I had to say sorry, and the mom gave me the look again and walked away. I thought it was so unfair. A friend got concert tickets and asks if you could go together. Call your friend and ask your friend 3 or 4 questions to know more about the concert. Hey Tom, thank you for asking. I'm so excited about the concert. but I have some questions to ask. What is the concert? Also, what time is the concert? And when does it finish? Oh, by the way, are they good seats? And are you going to drive there? Everything has been arranged, but on the concert day, you cannot join your friend since you're sick. Call your friend, tell him the situation, and offer 2 or 3 options. Hey Tom, it's me. I'm afraid I won't be able to make it because I caught the flu. I know it's last minute. I'm sorry. Do you have someone else you can go with? How about Jesse? Wait, I know that James has been dying to go, but he couldn't get tickets. Do you want me to ask him? Your car broke down in the middle of travel. Visit a repair center and ask for help. In order to get your car fixed, ask 3 or 4 questions.
Hello, my car just broke down. It wouldn't start after the light turned green. Can you take a look? I just got it serviced a week ago. Can you tell me what's wrong? And if there is a problem, can it be fixed right away?
Because your car broke down, you might miss an important meeting with your client. Call your client, talk about the situation, and give some options. Hello, Mr. Johnson, it's Park, and I have a big problem at the moment. My car just stalled, and I don't think I'll make it on time for our 2 p.m. meeting. I was wondering if there's any way to postpone the meeting until later in the afternoon. Or we can set up another time if you are too busy today. I am terribly sorry that this had to happen. There is a movie you want to watch with your friend. To know more about the movie and movie tickets, call the theater and ask 3 or 4 questions.
Hello, I would like to know if the new James Bourne movie is playing tonight. If it is, are there seats available at 10 p.m.? Can I get them in the back row near the aisle? How much is it for 2 tickets? And how long is the movie?
At the theater, you realize that you purchased the wrong tickets. Go to the ticket window and tell the seller about the situation. Make a suggestion to solve the problem. Hello, I'm afraid I purchased the wrong tickets. I wanted 2 tickets for the new Brad Pitt movie. Can I purchase 2 tickets and get a refund for the other ones? I apologize for the inconvenience I have caused. I like going to the movies too. Ask me 3 or 4 questions to get more information about the movies I like.
Okay, so you also like going to the movies. What kind of movies do you like? And how often do you watch a movie? Also, who's your favorite actor or actress? And what's your all-time favorite movie?
What kind of activities do you do before, during, and after the movie? Tell me about your typical day when watching a movie. Before I watch a movie, I usually have some dinner, and then I buy some soda and popcorn. During the movie, I only focus on the movie, so I don't really do anything else. After the movie, I usually buy some coffee and talk about the film with the person that I saw the movie with. What kind of TV programs do you like to watch? Tell me about your favorite TV program. Why do you like it?
My favorite TV programs are reality shows. I like watching reality shows because I can be totally relaxed while watching them. I don't want to think about anything when I'm watching TV, and those reality shows are just great for relaxing.
I watch various kinds of TV programs, such as news, sports, and documentaries. I also like to watch popular shows like the CSI series. When I need entertainment, I watch shows that make me laugh. I'm not addicted to TV. I just watch it when I have time. How do you select a TV program? What's the criteria you have when you select a program?
I like to watch TV programs that can release my stress and give me enjoyment. I don't want to think about my problems or concerns while watching TV. I just want to laugh out loud and forget about things. That's why I only watch comedy and reality shows. Sometimes I watch the news, but if the news talks about some serious issues, I switch the channel right away. I don't want to get depressed or think about stressful things when I'm watching TV. I only want to have fun.
How has your interest in TV shows changed over the last 5 years? What kind of TV shows do you like to see these days? My interest in TV shows has changed a lot during the last 5 years. I never had interest in watching news on TV before because I couldn't find direct connection between the economy or society and me. Now, since I graduated from college and started working, I automatically gained interest in our economy and society. I ended up watching news instead of watching entertainment shows. Let's talk about the most memorable TV show you have ever watched. What kind of TV show was it? Tell me about your favorite characters in that show. Why was it so memorable to you? Tell me about it in as much detail as you can.
The most memorable TV show I have ever watched was the Korean version of American Idol, where about 25,000 people applied for the audition. My favorite character in the show was, of course, the one who got first place. At first, I did not really like him except his voice. But after watching his life story about how poor his family was and how he lived, I started to like him the most. The prize he got for first place was $100,000 in cash and a nice car. After he won the first place, he debuted as a singer and earned tons of money. This program taught me a lesson that if you try really hard at something, then it will somehow pay you back.
I also like to watch TV shows. Now, ask me 3 to 4 questions to learn more about the TV shows I enjoy watching. I usually watch TV in the mornings and evenings. When do you usually watch TV? What is your favorite show, and who is your favorite character in that show? Could you tell me what the show is about? Oh, that sounds very interesting. What time is it on?